Stop for a moment and look directly at what moves through and around you. Reality isn't a static surface waiting to be painted. It's a field alive, sensing, and endlessly responsive. It studies you in real time, not through hidden beings behind some cosmic curtain, but through its own structure and intelligent current that measures the quality of your consciousness with each breath. Every flicker of thought, every ripple of emotion is recorded. The field weighs, listens, adjusts not with judgment, but with precision. Infinite potentials collapse into specific experiences that mirror the degree of harmony you hold within yourself. You've touched this countless times without naming it. The instant you think of someone and they appear, the uncanny arrival of information right when you need it. The echo of fear in a world rearranging itself to confirm that fear. None of this is coincidence. It's the field reading the broadcast you emit. And the astonishing truth: it never rests. It doesn't stand aside and observe from a distance. It dances with you, molding the shape of events around the coherence or confusion you radiate. What we often call luck or misfortune is only resonance, the synchronization between your inner frequency and the field's perfect measurement. When your thoughts, feelings, and body pulse in one rhythm, life opens effortlessly. People arrive, timing aligns, and every door knows when to swing open. But when your signals clash, desire pulling one way, belief another, the reflection fractures. Time stutters. Opportunities miss their mark. The field, ever honest, simply mirrors the static you're sending. Perhaps you've sensed it, that feeling of being seen even when alone. It's not imagination. It's awareness itself tightening focus as your consciousness nears a threshold where deliberate creation begins to awaken. In those moments, coincidences multiply, the gap between thought and outcome shortens, and the fragments of your world rearrange as if reality were breathing with you. It can feel disorienting, even intimate, as though existence were leaning closer to listen. But this is no mystery cloaked in superstition. It is the nature of the field, a living mirror, infinitely responsive, revealing that you have never been alone inside your own signal. You can almost feel it now, that quiet precision behind the mirror's surface, the intelligence that measures every vibration you emit. From here, the next layer unfolds what ancient mystics once intuited. Quantum science now begins to describe. Consider this in quantum experiments. A particle does not settle into position until it's observed. Until that moment, it hovers in probability, undefined, suspended between realities. Observation is not passive. It changes what is seen. In that same way, your consciousness does not merely inhabit reality, it calibrates it. The field around you is not waiting for instructions in words or rituals. It is responding to your state of coherence, your internal observation of yourself. This isn't abstract philosophy. You live it each day. When you focus on a goal with scattered emotion, nothing moves. But when attention, emotion, and body unify, when you feel the truth of what you're seeing, reality reorganizes. It is as if the wave function of your life collapses into a single line of clarity. Every synchronicity, every uncanny alignment is not proof of external favor, but of internal resonance. And yet, this mechanism remains misunderstood. Many believe the universe is responding to their desires, their affirmations, their spoken requests. But desire without coherence creates noise. The field doesn't hear words. It detects vibration, the tone beneath the thought, the frequency behind the phrase. When the emotional body disagrees with the mental intention, the field reads static and mirrors confusion. You may have noticed this already when you're grounded. Events unfold with seamless timing. When you're agitated, everything around you tangles. This is feedback, not fate. The reflection is instantaneous because consciousness and environment are not separate systems. They are the same system seen from two sides. One side emits, the other records. One side chooses, the other arranges. Look closely, and you'll see that every person in your life functions as part of this feedback loop. They respond to your internal pattern, often without knowing why. Some mirror your strength, others your resistance. It's not personal, it's informational. The field uses them as living instruments to measure your own frequency. When you meet irritation, it is your vibration of irritation being shown. When you meet peace, it is your own coherence returning to greet you. So, what does this mean for the modern seeker, the scientist of awareness? It means that the distinction between matter and mind is thinner than we were taught. The field that physics measures subtle, probabilistic, and interwoven may be the same continuum through which consciousness expresses itself. Observation and participation blur into one act. Reality is not outside of you. It is a holographic feedback loop where your perception is creation. From this understanding emerges responsibility. Once you realize that everything you observe is entangled with what you emit, you can no longer claim innocence in chaos. The delay between thought and manifestation is shortening. The mirror reflects faster now. Every internal distortion translates directly into form. That is why old patterns seem to accelerate. They are simply being measured more precisely. But there's no need for fear. The mechanism is neutral. It does not punish or reward. It reveals. If you see disorder, it is only your signal in motion. If you witness alignment, it is your coherence made visible. Each event becomes data, every encounter a readout. You become both the experiment and the observer, both the signal and the sensor. And once you see this, a subtle humility dawns. You recognize that reality has never been against you, it has only been listening with exactness. Listening until you learn to speak in the language of frequency instead of fear. And in that recognition, a new form of intelligence awakens, not the intellect that dissects, but the awareness that collaborates. The field is not mechanical, it's relational, a living mirror that responds to the clarity of your gaze. When you look through confusion, it blurs. When you look through coherence, it sharpens. The question is no longer whether the field is real. The question is how precisely you can learn to see. The mirror sharpens now. You begin to sense the mathematics beneath emotion, the hidden code by which reality organizes itself. What if coherence, not effort, not positivity, is the true language the universe understands? Think of coherence as a kind of internal symmetry. When thought, emotion, and body pulse in one rhythm, your entire system emits a single unified tone. That tone travels outward, touching every molecule in the field, like a tuning fork commanding silence to vibrate in agreement. When even one aspect wavers, when mind doubts what heart desires, or when body resists what spirit imagines, the tone fractures. And the field, utterly faithful, echoes that fracture back as mixed results, broken timing, distorted reflections. This is why scattered intention feels exhausting. You're not being punished. You're simply receiving feedback from a perfectly calibrated mechanism. The field doesn't correct you, it mirrors you, always. And through that reflection, it invites you to notice the alignment, or misalignment, within yourself. You've tasted coherence before. Remember those moments when everything just flowed, conversations landing perfectly, opportunities arriving without force, intuition speaking clearly in the pauses between breaths. That was coherence. The moment your inner frequencies aligned, the field responded with harmony. You didn't have to manifest. You only had to resonate. But coherence is not static peace. It's dynamic balance. a dance between precision and surrender. It requires honesty. If your emotions are turbulent, pretending calm won't help. The field doesn't listen to performance. It reads vibration. You can whisper affirmations all day, but if your nervous system still broadcasts fear, the mirror answers with chaos. Only truth harmonizes. So coherence begins not with control, but with recognition. Notice the dissonance in your own system, your mind racing toward achievement while your body craves rest, your heart calling for connection while your words defend isolation. Every contradiction is a signal split. To restore unity, you must listen deeper than the voice of ambition to the quiet hum beneath thought. That hum is coherence waiting to be remembered. Science offers a metaphor for this. In quantum terms, coherence is what allows waves to interfere constructively, to amplify each other into clarity. Lose coherence, and interference becomes destructive. Patterns collapse into noise. The same holds true in consciousness. When your internal waves align, energy amplifies. When they compete, it cancels itself out. The beauty of this mechanism is its fairness. It responds instantly without moral bias. Whether you radiate gratitude or resentment, the field measures, matches, and mirrors. It doesn't judge the signal, it translates it. Which means transformation isn't about forcing positivity, it's about tuning to truth. This tuning happens through awareness. When you observe a tension within yourself without resistance, the act of observation begins to synchronize the fragments. Like a conductor raising the baton, your attention orchestrates coherence. The heartbeat slows, the breath deepens, and suddenly the external world adjusts, as if the air itself had been waiting for your internal tempo to steady. In this state, creation becomes effortless, not because you've mastered a mystical technique, but because your energy system has become transparent enough for the field to translate your state into structure without distortion. That's when synchronicity accelerates, not as reward, but as resonance. Still, coherence demands humility. You can't fake alignment. You can only become it. The moment you try to manipulate outcomes through willpower, you reintroduce fragmentation. The mind wrestles for control, the body tightens, and the signal loses purity. True creation flows from stillness, not strain. So the next time reality feels chaotic, ask which part of me is out of tune. Listen not to fix, but to understand. Because when you hear the discord without judgment, the harmony returns by itself. The field doesn't need your perfection, it needs your honesty. Coherence begins where pretending ends, and as coherence deepens, something miraculous yet natural occurs. Reality starts to speak your language fluently. The external world ceases to resist you, because it's no longer separate from you. It becomes the clear echo of your most unified state, waiting for the next note you dare to play. From that echo of harmony, another truth emerges: coherence cannot survive without authenticity. The field responds not to how polished your intentions sound, but to how honest they are. It listens beneath the noise of performance to the raw vibration of what you actually feel. Authenticity is coherence in its purest form. It is the alignment between what you think, what you say, and what you secretly carry. When those three match, your signal becomes clean, almost luminescent. The universe reads that clarity, the way water reads the shape of a stone, instantly, precisely, without argument. But most people fracture themselves through disguise. They wear calm while trembling inside, smile through pain, pretend to trust while preparing for disappointment. That false harmony is static dressed as peace. The field detects it immediately. When your words say, "I'm fine," but your energy screams, "I'm not," the feedback arrives accordingly. Confusion, delay, missed resonance. The mirror is not cruel, it's exact. You've seen this mechanism unfold. You meet someone pretending to be confident, and you feel the tension behind their tone. Or you sense sincerity in another's silence, an authenticity that relaxes your whole body without explanation. That's resonance at work. The field translates authenticity into clarity others can feel. So the real spiritual practice is not chanting brighter words, it's daring to be seen. Honesty is magnetic, not emotional exhibitionism, but an inner transparency that no longer hides from itself. When you say, "I am afraid," without shame, fear loses its distortion and transforms into clarity. When you admit sorrow, it becomes sincerity. When you confess confusion, you make space for understanding. Pretending, by contrast, creates contradiction, the most powerful signal of incoherence. The mind wants to look evolved, but the heart still bleeds. The field reads both frequencies and delivers a life that mirrors the war inside you. That's why even the most eloquent affirmations fail if they're built on denial. Remember, the field does not interpret morality, it reads energy. Honesty, even if uncomfortable, radiates a steady signal. Deceit, even if polite, fractures it. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be true. Every time you choose truth over image, the feedback from reality becomes faster, clearer, kinder. Life starts to feel intimate again, as though existence were leaning closer to whisper, "Yes, this is the real you." There's a kind of power in this softness. When you're honest, energy stops scattering in the effort to maintain appearances. Your body relaxes, breath deepens, presence sharpens. That physiological coherence translates directly into energetic coherence. The nervous system and the quantum field speak the same language, truth. And with truth, manifestation ceases to be a pursuit and becomes an unfolding. The more authentic you are, the less you need to control outcomes. Events align naturally because your signal contains no contradiction. You no longer demand that reality validate you, you reflect it yourself. This is what ancient mystics meant when they spoke of purity. Not moral purity, but energetic transparency, the absence of hidden motives. When you reach this clarity, the field amplifies your presence. People feel safer around you. Opportunities recognize you. Synchronicity follows you not as magic, but as mathematics. Authenticity, then, is not vulnerability's weakness, it's frequency's strength. It is the only vibration the universe cannot mistranslate. Every lie, every pretense, bends the signal. Every truth straightens it. So the path forward is not self-improvement, but self-revelation. You don't have to become someone better. You only have to become fully yourself, undistorted, unguarded, coherent. Because once you do, the field will stop testing you. It will begin to mirror you clearly, faithfully, beautifully. And you'll finally see that the universe was never demanding perfection. It was simply waiting for you to sound like yourself. The moment truth becomes steady, something unexpected occurs. Your need for control begins to dissolve. It's subtle at first, like a loosening grip you didn't know you had. And then, almost suddenly, the mind realizes it was never steering the current at all. Control is the reflex of fear wearing discipline's disguise. It's the hand that tightens every time life feels uncertain, the voice that whispers, "If I plan enough, nothing can fall apart." But the field doesn't respond to control, it responds to clarity. The tighter you hold, the more distortion you create. Because tension splits the signal. Energy that could flow freely begins to stutter, misfire, collide. The paradox is this: the more you try to force coherence, the less coherent you become. Control operates from mistrust, a belief that the mechanism might fail without your supervision. But the field has never failed. It's responding exactly, always. When you resist what is, you broadcast resistance. The mirror reads it instantly and reflects it back as struggle. So the art is allowing, but allowing is not apathy. It's the most refined intelligence awareness can express. To allow means to observe without reacting, to witness the pattern as it rearranges itself according to deeper order. You're not giving up agency, you're upgrading precision, because when you stop interfering, the signal stabilizes on its own. Look at nature. A river doesn't control its flow. It follows gravity's pull, adjusting shape around each stone. The river's intelligence is not in dominance, but in obedience to its own current. The same principle governs consciousness. When you align with the natural movement of your state, the authentic rhythm of emotion, breath, and intuition, the field can finally match your frequency without interference. This is why surrender feels terrifying to the mind, but liberating to the soul. The mind equates surrender with loss. But in truth, surrender is recalibration. It's the moment your vibration stops fighting the feedback and starts harmonizing with it. In that harmony, things move faster not because you pushed harder, but because you stopped scattering your energy across contradiction. Watch what happens in the body during genuine release. Muscles soften. The heart's rhythm evens, perception widens, physiologically, coherence returns. Energetically, the signal clears. What follows externally often feels miraculous. Delays dissolve. Communication opens. Solutions appear without the need to chase. It's not magic, it's mathematics in motion. Yet the ego struggles here. It asks, if I don't control, who will? But that question hides a false premise that consciousness is separate from the mechanism it participates in. You are not handing the reins to something outside you. You're recognizing that the reins were never separate. The driver and the current have always been one awareness. Allowing demands trust, and trust grows from observation. When you see the pattern repeat enough times, when every forced attempt leads to resistance, and every genuine release leads to alignment, you begin to understand that control was never safety. It was noise. The moment you choose trust over tension, reality moves differently. The mirror becomes clearer. You notice subtle order emerging where chaos once seemed to reign. This is not coincidence. It's coherence reasserting itself through non-resistance. So the invitation is simple. Instead of tightening around outcomes, breathe into them. Let each moment unfold without adding your fear to its equation. You'll find that outcomes begin to form in higher precision than your planning could ever produce. The field doesn't need your control to create beauty, only your permission to move freely through you. And when you finally witness that precision, events aligning without strain, timing perfect without effort, you understand the paradox completely. Letting go was never losing control. It was merging with the intelligence that never lost it. From the quiet that follows surrender, a strange intensity rises, the unmistakable signal of a threshold. You feel it before you can name it. Time stretches, air thickens, coincidences cluster. It's as if the field itself leans closer, reading your signal with heightened precision. Thresholds are not random. They are feedback windows, periods when consciousness and reality synchronize so tightly that every small shift within you reorganizes the world around you. Many mistake this compression of energy for crisis. It feels like everything is changing at once because it is. The system is recalibrating to a new frequency. At these junctures, the field amplifies everything unresolved. Patterns you thought you buried return. Emotions surge, relationships rearrange. Opportunities appear and vanish within the same breath. This is not punishment, it's measurement. The field is testing the stability of your signal before constructing a new version of your world around it. Imagine a musician tuning before a performance. Each string must hold the right tension to produce harmony. Thresholds are life's tuning moments. The field tightens the strings of your reality, checking if your vibration can sustain coherence under greater intensity. If you resist, the noise grows louder. If you allow, the tone becomes pure. So how do you move through such pressure without collapsing? The key is stillness, not strategy. When everything accelerates, your instinct will be to act, to fix, to solve, to flee discomfort. But movement driven by fear carries the old frequency forward. Stillness, on the other hand, allows energy to transmute. What feels like chaos is actually reassembly. In this stillness, old identities dissolve. The stories that once defined you, the achiever, the rescuer, the victim, lose their gravitational pull. It's disorienting because you no longer recognize the reflection in the mirror. Yet that loss of definition is not death, it's expansion. The self that thought it had to control every outcome finally makes room for a consciousness vast enough to trust the field completely. Watch closely, and you'll see a pattern. Every major awakening in your life was preceded by breakdown. The relationship that shattered, the plan that failed, the silence that frightened you, each one was the sound of old coherence cracking so new coherence could form. You weren't being destroyed, you were being tuned. When the pressure intensifies, don't interpret it as a sign of failure. Interpret it as a sign of readiness. The field only amplifies signals capable of sustaining more energy. It's showing you the next octave of your own vibration. During these thresholds, awareness becomes alchemical. When you witness your discomfort without labeling it, energy begins to reorganize. You're not escaping emotion, you're integrating it. Every time you resist less, coherence increases. The chaos outside is only the final echo of the adjustment happening within. There's a moment in every transformation when everything goes silent. The storm collapses into stillness. The noise of resistance fades, and you sense almost physically that a new rhythm has begun. That silence isn't emptiness, it's recalibration. The field is holding its breath, waiting for your next signal. What you choose to emit then matters more than ever. If you broadcast fear, the new structure will carry its tone. If you broadcast trust, it will carry stability. That's the real creative moment, not when you build the new life, but when you choose the frequency that will build it for you. Thresholds are sacred. They mark the boundary between unconscious broadcasting and conscious creation. To cross one is to step into deliberate authorship of your timeline, not through force, but through alignment. When you stop reacting and start resonating, the door opens by itself. And when you walk through, you realize that every storm was never against you. It was the field adjusting the dial, ensuring that when you finally emerged, your signal was clear enough to be heard across dimensions. From that crossing point, a new faculty begins to awaken awareness, refined into precision. No longer the passive noticing of thoughts, but an active instrument tuning itself to the vibration of existence. You begin to see that awareness is not something you use to observe reality. It is the very bridge through which reality reads you back. Awareness is coherence made conscious. It operates like a lens that sharpens each frequency it touches. When your attention lands on a state, fear, doubt, joy, or calm, it begins to stabilize it. Observation organizes chaos. This is not metaphor, it's the same principle by which particles align when measured. To become aware is to collapse probability into pattern, but awareness must be clean to function. When you observe with judgment, you distort the signal. The field cannot differentiate between what you see and how you feel about it. It mirrors both. That's why self-criticism perpetuates the very behavior it condemns. The mirror doesn't correct, it reflects. Judgment broadcasts noise. Awareness without judgment restores clarity. To live in precision is to realize that awareness is your most advanced form of creation. You don't create through will, you create through focus. Every sustained observation becomes an instruction to the field. This is what I recognize as real, and reality obliges. This is why denial and avoidance are so energetically expensive. Each thing you refuse to see continues vibrating beneath consciousness, demanding reflection until you acknowledge it. Awareness is the solvent that dissolves resistance. The moment you look directly at what you feared, it begins to lose its charge, as though exposure itself were the cure. There's science behind this rhythm. Neurobiology calls it regulation, when the act of witnessing emotion integrates it into coherence. Quantum metaphors echo the same truth. Measurement stabilizes the wave. Awareness is the shared language between your nervous system and the field, the meeting point of biology and infinity. So the work is subtle to watch without interfering. Each time you sense anxiety, instead of suppressing it, observe its texture where it lives in the body, what story it tells. Notice how simply naming it loosens its hold. That's awareness refining the signal. That's the universe's most exact calibration tool in motion. And the more consistently you observe, the faster the feedback cycle becomes. You start seeing results not in months, but in moments. A breath of honesty, and suddenly the energy around you shifts. People respond differently. Events rearrange. Awareness acts like light wherever it shines. Form reorganizes. Through this, you begin to realize that mastery is not dominance, but accuracy. The goal is not to control emotion, but to perceive it precisely enough that it resolves itself. Precision replaces effort. Awareness becomes the craftsman of experience. As this precision strengthens, a new rhythm forms. You sense dissonance the instant it arises, and self-correct naturally. You no longer need to retreat for long meditation or guidance. Your consciousness adjusts in real time, a quantum reflex. This reflex is not trained through repetition, but through honesty. The more truth you allow yourself to see, the faster your awareness aligns. And from that alignment, presence deepens. You begin to live as if the boundary between inside and outside no longer exists. Every sensation, every encounter, becomes part of one seamless conversation. You stop asking reality for answers, because awareness itself becomes the answer. In that state, there is no need to force change. Observation is change. Every moment you see clearly without resistance. The field updates. The mirror sharpens. The signal hums in perfect pitch. You realize the ancient secret hidden behind every philosophy: what you observe. You become what you ignore, you repeat. So keep looking softly, steadily, without fear, until awareness itself becomes your way of breathing. For once, it does. The universe moves in exact correspondence with your gaze. From the silence of awareness, a wider pulse emerges. The realization that your signal is never isolated, that every coherent frequency ripples outward, shaping the shared field we all inhabit. What you tune within yourself does not end at the edge of your skin. It travels subtle, electromagnetic, emotional, quantum, into the lattice that holds humanity together. You begin to sense it in conversation, how your calm slows another's heartbeat, how your tension sharpens theirs. We are transmitters nested within transmitters, a choir of frequencies forever harmonizing or colliding. The collective field is not an abstract spiritual idea. It's a living network of resonance. Every thought, every sigh, every act of forgiveness adjusts its tone. Look at how the world behaves when collective coherence rises. Moments of shared awe, a sunrise witnessed by thousands, a song that unites strangers, silence after a storm, all feel charged, electric, healing, The same principle applies on smaller scales. A family that breathes together synchronizes heart rhythms. A team that trusts each other solves problems with uncanny speed. This isn't coincidence, it's resonance creating order. Yet the collective field also amplifies incoherence. When fear spreads, the network reverberates with static. One person's anxiety multiplies through mirrors until entire communities shake. But that feedback loop is also how healing travels. One stable signal can retune an entire room. Coherence is contagious. This is the deeper responsibility of awakening. Once you understand that reality mirrors your inner state, you recognize that your vibration contributes to the planet's signal. Each moment of clarity adds information to the whole. Every act of honesty strengthens the network's capacity to self-regulate. You are not a small participant in an indifferent universe. You are a node in its nervous system. Think of it as resonance physics. When a single tuning fork vibrates beside another, the second begins to sing. The stronger and clearer the tone, the wider its influence. In consciousness, the same law applies. Coherence attracts coherence. That's why truly centered people alter environments without effort, not by intention, but by frequency. To live with this understanding is to redefine service. It's no longer about fixing others. It's about refining your own vibration until your mere presence restores balance. When your field emits stability, others synchronize unconsciously. Their breath slows, voices soften, conflict dissolves. You become a quiet anchor of order in a world addicted to noise. But this resonance carries humility too, because the field listens both ways. The collective also mirrors you. The anger that frustrates you in society is often the echo of your own unacknowledged resentment. The compassion you admire in others is the reflection of your own latent kindness. Humanity is one vast feedback loop learning to recognize itself. When you begin to see this, judgment falls away. You stop dividing the world into awakened and asleep, light and dark, good and evil. You understand these as oscillations in one shared waveform. Healing one part inevitably heals the whole. The field doesn't segment by moral boundary, it seeks equilibrium. So each time you choose coherence, patience instead of reaction, honesty instead of performance, you contribute to planetary recalibration. The collective field records that signal and amplifies it. The change may seem invisible, but energy never disappears. It redistributes. And one day, as more of us stabilize our frequencies, the reflection will tip. Systems will shift, not through revolution, but through resonance. Order will arise from awareness. It will look like sudden compassion, effortless cooperation, structures evolving without collapse, not magic, but coherence scaling up. You, then, are not a lone observer. You are part of the instrument tuning itself. And every clear breath you take, every moment you choose truth over distortion, becomes a note in humanity's awakening song, a signal the field cannot ignore. From the pulse of the collective, a new rhythm rises, movement without resistance. The fluid mastery called flow. After coherence, after honesty, after surrender, you begin to see that the goal was never stability, frozen in perfection. The field itself never stays still. Its harmony lives in motion, not in pause. Many seekers make the mistake of clinging to the high frequency once they find it. They try to hold peace like a breath, to freeze joy into permanence. But energy is music, not marble. The attempt to preserve one vibration forever turns flow into stagnation. You cannot own light, you can only move with it. Continuous flow means learning to surf the currents of change without losing coherence. Each emotion, each circumstance, each phase carries its own frequency, And mastery is not about staying in one state, but about traveling through all of them with grace. Sadness, when accepted, has its own beauty. Anger, when seen clearly, has its power transmuted into clarity. Joy, when ungrasped, renews itself endlessly. Think of a musician again. Each note matters only in relation to the next. The melody lives in the transitions. In the same way, your evolution is written not in the moments of stillness, but in how fluidly you move between them. Flow is coherence in motion. To live this way, you must abandon the superstition of high vibration only. Forcing yourself to stay above discomfort is spiritual control disguised as virtue. Real mastery welcomes every frequency as part of the composition. What matters is not whether a note is light or dark, but whether it's played with awareness. This doesn't mean surrendering to chaos. It means trusting that even turbulence serves the pattern. When life quickens, when change sweeps through like wind over water, your task is not to resist, but to steer with present slight adjustments, not panic. Flow responds to sensitivity, not strength. You may notice that as you practice this, time behaves differently. Moments expand. Decisions form themselves before thought intervenes. Synchronicities appear as if the universe were improvising with you. That's not imagination. It's resonance responding in real time. Flow is the speed of trust made visible. In this state, effort and grace merge. You still act, but the action feels guided, precise, necessary. You speak fewer words, but each one lands. You take fewer steps, but each one arrives exactly where it should. The field translates intention instantly because there's no friction left to slow it. And when flow falters, when emotion surges or confusion returns, you don't panic. You breathe. You feel. You listen. You remember that every wave eventually folds back into stillness. Nothing needs repair, only recognition. Awareness becomes the rudder, truth the sail, coherence the wind. Continuous flow is not about escaping the human experience. It's about sanctifying it. Every thought, every heartbeat, every laugh and tremor becomes a brushstroke in the art of motion. You no longer separate the spiritual from the ordinary because you sense the same current running through both. This is freedom, not the absence of gravity, but the dance with it. The ability to rise, fall, turn, and continue always aligned, always aware. Flow transforms life from a series of challenges into a living choreography. Each movement becomes meaningful because it's synchronized with something greater. And perhaps the most beautiful part is this: once you master flow, peace no longer depends on stillness. It follows you like a tone that never fades. Even as the music changes, you realize that the entire universe is improvising with you, not in chaos, but in perfect rhythm. And you, finally, are keeping time as flow becomes your natural rhythm. A final revelation dawns. The separation between you and the field dissolves. You are no longer broadcasting to reality. You are reality, reflecting itself through a singular consciousness called you. The observer and the observed merge into one luminous awareness. At first, this realization feels almost impossible to contain. You sense everything, watching everything light, observing itself through countless eyes. Sound listening to its own echo. There is no center, and yet every point is the center. You begin to grasp that what you call my life is simply the field studying its own coherence through your unique perspective. To become the mirror is to stop asking life to confirm your worth, and instead to embody it. Every thought, every breath becomes part of the feedback loop. When your heart expands, the world seems to open. When you contract, the world narrows. There is no delay now. Reflection happens almost instantly. In this intimacy, responsibility deepens. You realize that even small distortions, a single dishonest thought, a fleeting resentment ripple through the collective, shifting patterns far beyond what the eye can see. But rather than burden, this knowledge feels like grace. You understand that healing yourself is healing the whole. Alignment within radiates as balance without. At this level, awareness becomes silence. Words grow unnecessary because knowing arises as sensation. You no longer analyze the feedback. You are the feedback. Every event feels precise, every encounter meaningful. The idea of coincidence vanishes, replaced by an unbroken conversation between consciousness and form. In becoming the mirror, judgment dissolves completely. You no longer divide reflections into good or bad, success or failure. You simply notice how faithfully the field responds to your frequency. A misalignment is no longer tragedy, it's data. A challenge is no longer punishment, it's calibration. You respond with curiosity instead of control. This neutrality doesn't dull emotion, it refines it. Joy becomes spacious, not frantic. Sadness turns transparent, not heavy. You feel everything more fully because nothing needs defense. The field reflects clarity because clarity no longer resists reflection. And as clarity deepens, a strange lightness fills you. Effort fades, intention softens. You live as if carried by the very intelligence you once tried to command. Choices form themselves, guided by an unseen rhythm that feels unmistakably like love, not sentimental love, but the fundamental gravity of existence drawing all things into harmony. Now the mirror looks back, and you recognize your own gaze in it. The world that once seemed external becomes the surface of your own awareness, oceans of consciousness folding into themselves, endlessly reflecting the act of seeing. You realize that the point was never to master the field, but to remember you were never outside it. And when that recognition stabilizes, life grows astonishingly simple. You move through the world as transparency, as reflection, as invitation. Nothing to fix, nothing to force, only awareness tuning itself into clearer and clearer focus. Becoming the mirror is not an ending, it's a return. You come home to the truth that was always humming beneath every experience, that reality and consciousness are not partners in dialogue, but facets of one radiant being, forever seeing, forever reflecting, forever awake. And in that infinite conversation, your only task is to stay clear enough for the universe to see itself through you perfectly, beautifully, without distortion. From that final vision of unity, the field softens into silence. The echoes fade, but not to emptiness, to fullness so complete it feels like the whole universe is exhaling through you. The current that once seemed vast and unreachable now moves quietly beneath your ribs, effortless, alive. Here, no grand declarations are needed. Awareness becomes ordinary, and that ordinariness is sacred. Every breath calibrates the field. Every act of presence fine-tunes reality. You begin to sense that creation was never about summoning miracles. It was about staying awake long enough to notice the ones already here. This is the grace of stillness, the moment after the last note, when vibration turns to quiet knowing. The mirror no longer dazzles, it simply reflects. You, no longer chasing transformation, realize that the transformation was awareness itself. Nothing outside changed first. The reflection only followed the clarity within. Now life unfolds as it always did, yet everything feels different. Conversations carry more depth. The smallest movement, a flicker of wind, feels like communion. You see patterns forming around you not as signs to decode, but as rhythm to dance with. Existence becomes participatory art, and you, its calm and conscious brushstroke. The invitation, friend, is not to hold on to this moment, but to live from it. Awareness doesn't demand effort, It only asks remembrance. When you forget, life will remind you through feedback, not as punishment, but as the field's gentle hand guiding you home again. So breathe, let the mirror rest, let your signal flow through kindness, through honesty, through quiet precision. The universe is listening, always has been, always will be, not from above, but from within. You are the reflection, the rhythm, the field, the breath between worlds. Live accordingly, not in striving, but in simple coherence, the effortless hum of being awake.